Hi guys, my name is Dev and today we will discuss about open keyword in Kotlin. So, what is open keyword? Basically, open keyword in Kotlin serves as a modifier that allows classes, functions, and properties to be extended or overridden by some other class. By default, all the classes, methods, and properties are final in nature. Without open class, methods and properties are final by default, preventing them from being extended or overridden in subclasses. Let's discuss about how open keyword is used in Kotlin. So in Kotlin, we can mark a class, a function, or a variable with the open keyword like below. Suppose we have to declare a class as final, uh, as a open class, then we have to declare that class as open class and class name. And if we have to declare a function with open keyword, then we have to declare open function and function name. And if we have to declare a variable as open, then we have to declare open the type of the variable, well or where, and variable name. That's it. So basically, open. So we will discuss open keyword with class. The open keyword with the class means that class is open for extension, meaning that we can create a subclass of that open class. Without open keyword, we cannot declare we cannot inherit that class in its child class. Basically, in Kotlin, all the classes are final by default, meaning that they cannot be inherited in its child class. Suppose we have a uh, class name person, and we have declared class person, and then we have to extend that class in its child class. So we cannot inherit that class because our person class is by default in final in nature. So when we try to extend that class in its child class, then compiler will show an error. This type is final, so it cannot be inherited from. So if you want to uh, allow inheritance, we need to mark that class with the open keyword. Basically, opening it for extension. Then we update our person class as a open class. Now we will be able to create a subclass of this class, and it will work perfectly. Basically, in Kotlin, all the classes are final by default, but in Java, this is exactly opposite. In Java, to make a class final, we need to use final keyword. That is why we need the open keyword in Kotlin with the class to allow inheritance. Open keyword with function. Now we will discuss how we can use the open keyword with our function declaration. Similar to the classes, all the functions in Kotlin are by default final in nature, meaning that we cannot override a function in its child class without open keyword. Consider a function guide inside a person class. We have declared a class name person, and it is an open class. And we have declared a function name is guide, and we will not be override the, the function in its child class because our function in our function class method, that is guide, it is final in nature by default. So when we try to override that class in its child class, the compiler will show an error. Guide in person is final and cannot be overridden. So in order to allow the overriding to the function, we need to add the open keyword, and and with open keyword we can happily override that class in its child class. No. Again, in Kotlin, all the functions are final by default in nature, but in Java, this is exactly the opposite. In Java, to make a function final, we need to use final keyword. Open keyword with variables. Similarly, the variables in Kotlin are final by default. So to override uh, a variable in its child class, we need to set the variables as open in our base class. Here is the base class. Class name is person, and we have declared val temp is equal to 5. Basically, our temp variable is final in nature by default. So when we try to override that variable in its child class, we cannot overwrite it because our temp variable is already final in nature. So our compiler will show an error. Temp in person is final and cannot be overridden. In order to allow the overriding of the variable, we need to add the open keyword to the temp variable. So this is our updated child class, and we can happily override our temp variable, and this will work perfectly. So in Kotlin, all the variables are final by default, but in Java, this is exactly the opposite. In Java, to make the variable final, we need to use the final keyword. So all of that, we can say that we can use our open keyword with class, function, and variables. Thank you.